alternative to new Varsity. This opinion examines whether investing £190 million in a new university is the best use of resources for technological advancement. It is indeed a matter of great satisfaction that the government has decided to allocate a sum of £190 million, released by the Supreme Court of Pakistan, for investment in emerging technologies. Allocate is a verb meaning to set aside resources for a specific purpose. Released by indicates that the funds were made available by the Supreme Court's directive. This opening sentence serves as the thesis statement by introducing the government's decision to invest £190 million in emerging technologies. There is no doubt that Pakistan's economic competitiveness in the future is strongly linked to quality human capital and technological assimilation and adaptation, and not to the elusive search for natural resources, oil, gas, minerals, etc. Human capital refers to the skills and knowledge of a country's workforce. Technological assimilation and adaptation means the ability to adopt and adjust to new technologies. Elusive means difficult to attain or define. This sentence argues that future competitiveness depends on human and technological capabilities rather than natural resource extraction. China's example illustrates the point amply. Illustrates means demonstrates or exemplifies. This sentence means that China's progress provides a clear example of the argument. Until 2000, America produced more PhDs in STEM subjects than China. This sentence provides historical context, showing the earlier dominance of U.S. higher education in STEM. By 2017, the two countries were equal. This sentence means that the gap between U.S. and Chinese STEM education had closed by 2017. By 2025, China has produced 70,000 PhDs compared to 35,000 by the U.S. PhDs is a term for doctoral degrees, indicating high-level academic achievement. This sentence means that by 2025, China's production of doctoral graduates in STEM has doubled that of the U.S., underscoring China's rapid academic advancement. It is quite well known that 600,000 Chinese students obtain their PhDs and postdoctoral fellowships from top U.S. universities. 70% of them returned home and were funded to set up their own research laboratories under a government-financed scheme. Postdoctoral fellowships refer to advanced research positions beyond the PhD level. This sentence means that many Chinese scholars trained in the U.S. eventually returned to China, supported by government funding to establish research labs. Chinese universities such as Tsinghua and Peking are now rated among the world's best. This sentence means that prestigious Chinese institutions have gained global recognition for excellence. The team that came up with DeepSeek that has startled the world and shattered the Silicon Valley were all trained in Chinese universities. DeepSeek is a reference to a breakthrough technology. Shattered is a verb meaning to dramatically disrupt. This sentence means that a groundbreaking technology from China, developed by its university-trained team, has upended Silicon Valley's dominance. According to the Australian Policy Research Institute, China leads in 53 out of 64 critical technologies, such as supercomputing, AI and machine learning, industrial robotics, biomedicine, etc. This sentence means that China has become a global leader in a majority of key technological sectors. As reported in the media, this amount of £190 million is earmarked for setting up a new university covering 100 acres in Islamabad. Earmarked is a verb meaning designated for a specific purpose. This sentence means that the government plans to use the £190 million to build a new campus in Islamabad. Universities are not known for their brick-and-mortar development and expanse, but for their contribution to society and the economy. Brick-and-mortar is an idiomatic expression referring to physical infrastructure. This sentence means that the true value of a university lies in its intellectual and economic contributions rather than its physical size. Pakistan, fortunately, has at least a dozen or more leading universities in these fields: GIKI, QAU, NUST, LUMS, Pak Austrian, PICAs, UAT, NED, Sukar EBA, IBA, Karachi, Boitams, Quetta, ComSats, FAST, HEJ, to name a few. This sentence means that Pakistan already possesses several reputable institutions capable of advanced research. These universities have facilities, faculty, and research students who can contribute to the goals specified for the new university. This sentence means that the existing institutions are well equipped to support research and development, but they are starved of operational funds. Starved is a metaphor meaning severely lacking. This sentence means that despite their strengths, these universities suffer from inadequate funding. The same is true for our research institutions. This sentence means that research bodies in Pakistan also face severe funding constraints. I carried out a study of Pakistan's agricultural research institutions for the Cabinet and found that while we have highly trained scientists, most of the budgetary allocation was taken up by salaries and allowances, pensions, rents, utilities, etc., with almost nothing left for actual experiments and scaling up. Budgetary allocation refers to the distribution of financial resources. Scaling up is a phrasal verb meaning to expand or increase in size. This sentence means that although Pakistan's research institutions employ skilled scientists, most funds are absorbed by overhead costs rather than research activities. Instead of setting up a greenfield university from scratch, there is a more cost-effective, firmly anchored and sustainable model to use these funds. Greenfield is a jargon term meaning a project developed entirely from new undeveloped land. This sentence means that rather than building a completely new university, an alternative model using existing resources would be more economical and sustainable. This model, based on better resource utilization, aims to spread the fixed cost of existing universities over larger variable costs through the provision of competitive research grants. Fixed costs refer to expenses that do not change with the level of output. Variable costs are costs that vary with production. This sentence means that the proposed model would reduce per unit costs by leveraging existing university infrastructure through competitive grants. The underutilized capacity of these universities, due to the paucity of funds, can be optimized with quick results. The incremental capital cost would be negligible. Underutilized means not used to full potential. Paucity means scarcity. Incremental capital costs refer to additional expenses required for expansion. This sentence means that tapping into the existing, underfunded capacity of universities would yield rapid improvements at minimal extra cost. Compare this to setting up a brand new university. This sentence invites a comparison between the alternative model and the high costs associated with creating a new institution. This would involve huge upfront costs of constructing a campus, recruiting faculty, and purchasing, installing, and operationalizing equipment. Upfront costs are initial expenses incurred at the beginning of a project. Operationalizing means making functional or putting into operation. This sentence means that building a new university would require significant initial investment and time before becoming productive. This would take at least 4 to 5 years. This sentence means that constructing a new institution is a long-term process. Instead of building a new university with £190 million, there's the option of revisiting existing campuses. This sentence means that a more viable alternative is to upgrade and expand current university facilities rather than starting from scratch. In the meanwhile, the nature and texture of technologies which are undergoing rapid changes may have altered, and we may be stuck with irrelevance as the new university would be behind the curve, with its planning assumptions made in 2025. Behind the curve is an idiomatic expression meaning outdated or lagging behind current trends. This sentence means that rapid technological changes might render a new, rigidly planned university obsolete soon after its creation. The existing universities are in a better position to show flexibility to adapt under a dynamic leadership and governance structure. This sentence means that current institutions can more readily adjust to fast-changing technological and academic environments. We should not rule out the possibility that the most talented from the present top universities may drift towards a new setup with higher remuneration and facilities, with matters ending up as a zero-sum game for the country as a whole. Zero-sum game is a term meaning a situation where gains by one party result in equivalent losses by another. This sentence means that attracting talent to a new institution might merely redistribute resources without overall benefit. In that event, the huge cost incurred on the new setup would have negative social benefits. This sentence means that the financial outlay for a new university could ultimately harm society if it fails to add net value. An alternative model proposed here is to identify the technologies which Pakistan needs now and in the near future, and in which we are lagging behind our peers that we would like to leapfrog. Lagging behind means not keeping pace with. Leapfrog is a verb meaning to jump ahead, bypassing intermediate steps. This sentence means that Pakistan should focus on critical technological areas where it falls short and aim to rapidly advance in those fields. An endowment fund equivalent to £190 million, supplemented by development grants amounting to Rs 100 billion, may be created. Endowment fund is a financial asset donated to support an institution. This sentence means that creating a fund to support research could be a more efficient use of the £190 million than building a new university. The income from this fund, along with increased allocation for research development and pooling existing allocations under R&D to the Higher Education Commission, HEC, the Pakistan Science Foundation, and the Ministries of Science Technology, IT, Agriculture, and others, may be utilized for soliciting research proposals from Pakistani universities and public and private research institutes in priority fields through an open and competitive process. Soliciting means seeking or requesting. This sentence means that the fund's revenue, combined with enhanced R&D spending, could be used to finance competitive research projects across institutions. These proposals should be vetted by international experts in their respective fields, and time-bound grants may be awarded to the successful recipients. Vetted means thoroughly examined or evaluated. Time-bound means limited to a specific period. This sentence means that proposals will be rigorously reviewed and grants awarded on a fixed-term basis to ensure timely progress. Those whose proposals are found deficient in some aspects should be given feedback to improve, mentored and guided by top Pakistani domain experts, and encouraged to reapply. This sentence means that unsuccessful applicants should receive constructive criticism and support to improve their proposals for future opportunities. Principal investigators and team members of the successful grantees should be paid a portion of the grant as remuneration and allowed to commercialize their products, processes, and innovations. Principal investigators refers to the lead researchers in a project. Remuneration means payment or compensation. This sentence means that awardees should receive direct financial benefits and have the opportunity to profit from their innovations. Look at the MIT and Stanford faculty and alumni's records in bringing their innovations to the market. This sentence means that examples from top U.S. institutions demonstrate the effectiveness of integrating research with commercialization. The institutions in which the grantees are working should charge an overhead cost for the use of their facilities. Overhead cost means the ongoing operational expense. This sentence means that universities should recoup some costs through fees when their facilities are used for research. Exchange of these scholars in collaboration with their counterparts in academically advanced countries would further ensure quality assurance and relevance by keeping the Pakistani scholars abreast of contemporary developments in their respective fields and cognizant of future trends. Abreast means informed or up to date. This sentence means that international collaborations would help maintain high standards and forward-thinking research in Pakistan. The question that arises is very pertinent in our context. Which is the institution that will administer this grant without bureaucratic hassles, nepotism, and favoritism? Bureaucratic hassles refers to complicated administrative procedures. Nepotism means favoritism toward relatives. This sentence means that a key challenge is choosing an impartial and efficient institution to manage the fund. It's hard to find a definitive solution to this difficult question. This sentence means that the issue of fund administration is complex and unresolved. A second-best solution may be designed. This sentence means that while a perfect solution is elusive, an acceptable alternative can be arranged. A committee of the top well-reputed scholars in Pakistan with high ethical standards can be assigned this task with secretariat support from either an autonomous and empowered HECO, not in its present form as an attached department of the government, or the Ministries of Science, Technology, and IT. Secretariat support means administrative assistance. Autonomous means independent. This sentence means that a committee of respected scholars, supported by an independent agency, could manage the fund. This fund should be audited by the Auditor General of Pakistan, but kept outside the purview of the ministries. This sentence means that the fund's finances should be independently verified and remain free from political influence. The built-in mechanism in the proposed model, that is, open competitive grants and vetting by international scholars, would be able to ensure the integrity of the process and minimize the usual traits of nepotism and favoritism. Built-in mechanism means an inherent, self-regulating process. This sentence means that the proposed transparent, competitive grant system would help prevent corruption and favoritism. There is still time for the government to revisit and re-examine dispassionately its present initiative and find a cost-effective way to translate its commendable vision of Pakistan catching up with its competitors. This sentence means that the government has an opportunity to reassess and improve its current plan in favor of a more economical alternative. The opportunity cost of this huge investment in a new university is quite high compared to the proposed alternative presented here. Opportunity cost means a loss of potential gain from other alternatives when one alternative is chosen. This sentence means that investing in a new university may yield fewer benefits than enhancing existing institutions through research funding. The writer was Dean and Director of IBA Karachi, 2008-2016. Published in Dawn, March 22, 2025.